5, I'll go first.
Sure.
5, 6, 7. I feel like this is a trap. No, it's not 15. You add it, it's 30. It's a 30% chance. 30% chance. I think I mulligan.
I'm gonna keep this one.
Oh, brutal.
Don't look at the top. It's so bad. It's like
Brutal.
What's up, guys? We got Thunder mulliganing to 6 here on the play with Reanimator. I believe I knew what I was playing against here. The Turbo Depths matchup is a little weird. I haven't played Blue-Black Reanimator in like a year, but I play a lot of Turbo Depths, and it really relies on managing to get a discard spell and then bogging them can be really good. Like, I've quite often Thoughtseize somebody's fatty and then naturally played Bajuka Bog, etc. Other than that, they've got Force and Daze, so this is a worse matchup, actually, than Black-Red Reanimator, which it can get you turn 1 on the play sometimes. But, I mean, it's like Chancellor of the Annex is more designed to beat Force of Will than it is to beat another combo deck, really. So I'm not sure how I feel about this matchup. It can be really tough. He can get a turn 1 Grizzlebrand into play almost as well as Black-Red Reanimator could. I'm not sure if he knows what he was playing against here. Fetching for basic island turn 1 is a safe play if you think that you could be wasted. If he knew what deck I was on, he should 100% be getting all the undergrounds as fast as possible. You don't want to bottleneck yourself on mana here. So a turn 1 Careful Study will let me know exactly what's going on. It also means that making an extremely fast 20/20 isn't necessarily going to work. We really have to look at the hand. This is all about discard rather than trying to combo fast. He does not have a fatty to discard, so that's a good sign to begin with. He binned a land and an Exhume, so this is looking to me like we're probably going to open a hand and just find like another Reanimate and an Exhume in there.
I'm gonna keep shuffling, but I'd like to put that on the stack.
He played out the Lotus Petal just in case of this so that he could brainstorm and hide some stuff. And that's fine. A deck like this we probably aren't going to whiff. Another good thing about Duress is that if you Duress somebody, they hide all of their spells. It's not like Thoughtseize where it forces you to put Grizzlebrand in the yard where otherwise you wouldn't want to select that with a Thoughtseize. And how he orders this is really important. So he's going to expose the Force. From this position, especially since he binned an Exhume, I have to assume that the top card is Entomb and the card down is Reanimate, which is also like a little awkward. Oh, he topped a Ponder. That also allows him to keep an Entomb like floating. Since he hid 2 cards and let me take a Force, I think he does like his top card. So if this is a shuffle, that's like a big sign to me that I could just go off. And that the Thoughtseize portion of the game is kind of over. Anyway, no matter what, he gets to keep that card that he hid with Brainstorm because he has the Polluted Delta. So he gets to put Animate Dead into hand.
Still time to shuffle.
And then immediately shuffles. That's strange. So, did he just keep another Ponder? And now he's just digging. Oh, okay. So he has a fatty in hand and he gets to Careful Study. So the thing, I think we discussed this later in the match, but the thing about Careful Study is that it kind of invites you to do it blind sometimes, and that's not great. Like, you get lulled into this sense of, well, I'll probably draw a fatty, you know, but if you don't, then it's quite a mediocre card. That's no brainstorm, you know? Anyway, clearing off the top of your deck can be pretty good anyway. And there's also a fallacy that Magic players fall into where they say something like, I had to draw so many good cards, now I've got these good cards I didn't want to get rid of. Like, that's not an actual problem to have. You know what I mean?
I'm at 15. Pass.
Now he's empty-handed, but he has a fatty in the yard. So I am in a bad position with any Exhume Reanimate if I'm not holding up crop rotation. The thing that he has to be worried about is crop rotation into Bajuka Bug, for sure. We go for the Hex Mage. Okay, so that means that reanimating the Tide Spout isn't going to be all that good. And he'll concede on the spot.
With that, like putting this big thing out, not relying on the graveyard seems strong.
Looks like, did Thunder mull to 6 on the play again? And reveals, he revealed a check card in there, and I'm like, what the hell is that? I have to know, that's a Jaceveren's Prodigy. A card choice that I don't really agree with, by the way.
Yeah.
But it can be pretty cool. So I think Thunder is going to mull to 5 on the play here, which is not undoable. You can have some really explosive draws. And the other thing that you have to remember with a Reanimator deck, a lot of the time you have to mull until you find an explosive hand and then acknowledge that it folds to Force of Will. I don't have that. I have absolutely nothing I can do on the draw.
Okay.
What's the worst that could happen, I guess?
That's strange. I think that Thunder just mulled to 6.
Go ahead.
No, Thunder mulled to 6 again. Awkward. Careful Study draws 2 cards, then he bins 2 Grizzlebrands.
Draw. And you still have how many in hand? Do you get to 5 or 4?
And this is another thing, like, there's definitely ways
I'm gonna dress.
that you can
No, I'm gonna take.
yeah, I'm gonna take the Force. That makes a lot of sense because I mean the deck
too
has
much information from me.
Bajuka Bog in it, and like I'm gonna keep hands that are capable of bogging.
Am I good? Did you draw a Spell Pierce or something?
Yeah. So okay. So, it's pretty bad to just directly signal to someone that you're going to take their Force of Will with a duress instead of the Reanimator or Exhume or whatever. It pretty obviously signals crop rotation. But in the situation that he was in, he's going to have to just go for it, right? So I mean, we're just going to show that. And there's our shameful, sad, overgrown tomb again.
I'm gonna put a Dark Depths in my hand and pass.
Doesn't really matter in this kind of matchup. Occasionally it does. It hasn't mattered enough to me. Like, I have 3 Valks and 3 Underground Seas and some other stuff, and a 3rd Bayou just really, for whatever reason, it kind of makes me feel like I don't want it bad enough.
Did my Overgrown Tomb show up in both of our games? That's embarrassing.
All right, so we Sylvan Scrying looking for Dark Depths, and now he's going to try to get his hand back together again.
Don't tell me you got me.
It looks to me like he's not going to be able to bin a fatty, but he is just churning through his deck a little bit.
Okay.
So he bins Exhume Island. If we put down a stage or the depths, then we're still 2 turns away from attacking with a Merit Lage.
Go.
Never mind. All right, so we set up and show the Hex Mage.
Yep. Okay.
All right, so this has to be a really explosive hand, or sorry, an explosive turn here. And again, he's fetching a lot of basics. I don't want to be too harsh, but I think that like has to be a mistake. It seems like this deck has a really rock solid mana base, and it does, but you don't have to hurt yourself with that. So let's see. What could he be showing in here? I think it's always going to be worth putting in a land or whatever.
That resolves. Third Grizzlebrand. You got it, man.
So he's got a Grizzlebrand. I have to think about whether I'm going to respond. I'm going to let him draw the first 7. Since Hex Mage sacrificing to Dark Depths isn't a spell, I don't really have to worry about Force of Will. The thing we have to worry about now is him getting Tidespout Tyrant into play.
That is interesting.
The hand is now a Show and Tell, some lands, Careful Study, Reanimate. He needs... Oh, wait, sorry, that was the graveyard. The hand is now Force, Ponder, Petal, Brainstorm, Petal, Land, Jace. He's just going to have to draw again. Now we've got another decision.
Draw 7.
He just chooses to pass here. No, he chooses to draw. He's at 4. I choose not to respond. We're playing around him getting Tidespout into play and being able to cast a bunch of spells that target our permanents and bounce them.
11, 12.
At this point,
That's not quite.
I'm thinking that provided he doesn't get another like flying blocker into play or something like that,
Dressing.
a naturally drawn Sajiri Step kills him.
Right of consumption. Take a right.
Oh.
Pass turn.
Okay, end step.
Okay, so Force of Will for Right of Consumption
Maybe fatty.
I would like to
beats me.
I gotta.
I
Is
know,
he trying to
but-
pass?
So you say end step?
Yeah.
I think... I don't know why.
probably
but I'm gonna
passing.
float a black and activate this.
Yeah. All right, so he's going to end step, and he has to discard a bunch of cards. I'm not afraid of Shallow Grave or anything like that, so it looks to me like...
That's awkward for you to see the right.
It looks to me like Grizzlebrand has to chump. A naturally drawn Sajiri Step is lethal.
Stretching more.
A Sylvan Scrying has to be forced. If the Sylvan Scrying gets forced, we won't have enough mana to cast Right at the same time. So we're both in kind of a tough spot here. I know that his hand is going to be loaded with Force of Wills. Alright, so he bins Elish Norn.
7.
Alright, may I see this first?
We're going to take a look at this. It's a single creature.
Okay. Untap.
All right. We're going to untap and take a draw step. It looks to me like Grizzlebrand is going to have to chump. Then he's just going to start reanimating things again, and it's going to get harder from
Well, I
there.
mean, you have 7 cards in hand. There's no way I can try to write you. There's no way. I really needed to draw.
Was hoping for that magical Sajiri step.
That sucks. Yep. Yep. And
Put him to 11. There's no reason to write here. We better not do that. That would be the dumbest thing ever, right? Okay. Oh, phew. All right. Is the Hex Mage good?
go ahead.
He's going to let the Hex Mage resolve. We know that he's just going to reanimate Grizzlebrand again. So, let's see. That's Entomb, Jace, Animate Dead.
Yeah, I think I shouldn't have played it.
I'm going to start off with a Ponder.
Go ahead.
See some more options here. Polluted Delta among the top 3. I don't think he's really interested in that.
Okay.
He'll pick up an additional card. Looks like it was... Did he pick up Tidespout into the hand? It's because he's got a Careful Study.
Careful stuff.
Here comes the Careful Study. He'll pick up that second Animate Dead and a land, and then discard probably Tidespout Delta, and cast Animate Dead. Using a Petal, strangely.
Sure.
Yeah, Animate Dead targeting Grizzlebrand. He doesn't want to have to exhume yet. Oh, it was a second Polluted Delta. He's thinking about drawing here.
I'm an idiot.
Last turn. Should I be dead?
All right, we can still win with a top deck Sajiri step.
Yeah.
This deck just never delivers anyway. And remember, we have to attack with both.
Careful study.
Please attack with both. He's not at a life total that can even... Fuck, come on. No, come on. We missed 2 damage immediately. And then...
It's 6.
And then complain.
Do I have to...
Oh, I missed 2 damage. What the hell?
Alright, that's me complaining about missing 2 damage. So let's think about this. Did I royally kill myself? Is it...
That's tilting.
I'm pissed. Let's see. He would be at 9.
That could really happen here.
Let's see, drawing to 2,
Yes.
chumping to
Go to
8.
17.
He decides not to draw.
Nope.
Oh, so yeah,
17. Fuck. We can't keep this up.
So get rid of a Force of Will, pitching Brainstorm. And then...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was absolutely convinced that he was going to cast something
Target.
tight spot.
that's... Yeah, he's going to cast this. He's going to bounce my Merit Lage anyway, so I decided to use Rite of Consumption
I have you at 8.
and my token to get a Force out of hand.
Chase.
Oh, it's Vern's Prodigy. That makes sense.
Casts Jace. Tidespout bounces Hex Mage to hand.
Sure.
There's nothing I can do about that.
Good Jace. Pass turn.
really need Dark Depths here. Yeah, Sylvan Scrying for Dark Depths will allow us to cast Hexmage again. And he's a little low on cards. The awkward thing, though, is, of course, if he has any spell in his hand, then he just gets to bounce my permanents. There's Hexmage. If we hadn't missed our 2 damage, he would be at 6. Does that change anything?
Go ahead.
Also, remember, Hexmage can kill Jace. Discards Show and Tell. Flips Jace.
Show and tell? Okay.
He's had the Echoing Truth in hand the whole time, which is interesting. He chooses not to activate Jace, which is really interesting. He's got the Echoing Truth. I know even like Brainstorm or something like that acts as an Echoing Truth, so I can't do anything. But he chooses not to activate Jace, which gave me a moment of pause. Like I did think about it, like killing the Jace without an activation. But it doesn't seem worth it at this point because my Hexmage is more valuable to me.
You get to cast it.
He's going to elect to cast an Exhume, and then I'm going to wait.
Oh, so that's the target. Okay. Yeah.
He targets Exhume. He casts Exhume.
Exhume is on the stack. All right. Well.
Tidespout has to announce a target.
So target.
Yeah, there's a trigger. So.
And I think this is going as well as it can for me because I was really hoping that he would do that instead of the Dark Depths, right? So I'll sacrifice Hexmage and kill Jace. And then Exhume will resolve and we'll just get a Hexmage again.
What am I doing?
Yep. That's fine. The Exhume is there.
Is this going to allow him... Did I miss 2 damage and now he's got enough life to draw? Because then if he casts like Lotus Petal or something, then he just starts like winning. But no, it doesn't matter because he has Echoing Truth in his hand. So there's no way that he can lose this game now. Alright, alright. Well, I knew this whole time that I was way far behind. I elect not to make Merit Lage. Pithing Needle.
Pithing needle. That's pithing needle.
Grizzle Brand.
I believe we named Grizzlebrand. Hexmage.
Go ahead.
I can't do anything here. He'll just... I don't know. He's going to attack in the air. It's remarkably not lethal, right? Is he going to try to bounce something? He's going to duress my empty hand so that he can bounce. Targeting Pithing Needle.
Pithing needle?
Yeah, that's fine. So Pithing Needle goes to my hand and then he'll duress it. And then he'll attack me. And he has the Echoing Truth.
You have 2020. Echoing Truth, the Merit Lage,
Yeah, okay.
targeting
Like,
Hexmage.
it's not entirely unexpected, but still, I mean, that's kind of disgusting.
Both of my Good game, dude. Well done. Two.
So we'll go back to the board a little bit.
Try again.
There's a couple of things that could have gone differently that game.
Like 2 turns earlier.
I'm not gonna get.
Because you can't do that whole. Like,
I'm not gonna get too involved in talking about the sideboard plan because we did kind of the best that Turbo Depths can do in that situation. Like we Bajuka bogged and got like a 3-for-1. We duressed some key targets and then just kind of fell behind due to Brainstorm Careful Study.
Okay.
Game 3 on the play. Thunder's hand looks great.
Alright, you decide first. Then I decide.
I'm gonna keep this hand.
Okay.
All right. Good luck. Stage. Pedal.
Playing around days here
Piving needle.
with the Lotus Petal. I want to point out 100% of the cards on the field are in Korean. We're going to turn 1 Needle Grizzlebrand. And then I think he'll just get to do his normal pondery thing. Set up a great hand here. Turn 1 Careful Study. I didn't see a target in his hand, so this might be a little bit of a trap, but you can always get rewarded for it. So, I mean, when you rip Grizzlebrand off the blind Careful Study, it feels great. Oh, it wasn't blind. He at least had Jace Friend's Prodigy. So that's fine. And he will turn 1. He elects to reanimate Jace. And we'll go to 18. We'll try to get that flip card in play here. Pedal Dark Depths. This hand is as all in as all in can be. All right, so we represent a stage activation here. He's going to play his land for the turn.
How many does
I think he has to fetch before.
it goes
No?
before? That's crazy. Yeah. Okay.
Is it 5 cards? Hold on. If there are 5 more cards in your graveyard, isn't his graveyard 3? Oh, he layered his graveyard. It's 4 and then 5. Okay.
Is that right?
So we'll flip Jace. So a turn 2, flipped Jace. Show and tell in hand. No fatty yet.
Cards in hand?
This hand he could.
Only 3, man.
3 cards in hand.
He can't do anything. He has to ponder? Okay, so from my side of the table, I'm not afraid of anything that's happening here.
Careful stuff.
Is this better? Oh, yeah, this is better than ponder. Excuse me. Yeah, that's great. So he flashes back Careful Study. He kind of has to hit Pedal Fatty, right? And it has to be the right kind of fatty. He found Grizzlebrand. He doesn't have a Reanimate. He has an Exhume. He doesn't have enough mana.
Okay.
All right, so think about this from the Depths player's standpoint now. He's down to 1 mana in hand. And this has to be Reanimate. If it is not Reanimate, then are we afraid of like a 1 of Vapor Snag? Like, Vapor Snag doesn't even make any sense. Echoing Truth is uncastable. I'm not thinking about Vapor Snag. I'm thinking about Chain of Vapor. So from Thunder's standpoint, he has to pass the turn right now without casting anything. If he casts this Ponder, I'm going to make the Merit Lage and kill him. Oh. Okay, well, I'm going to reveal a hand of probably nothing.
Fast turn.
Man, I wouldn't have done it if you didn't. If you pressed
Yeah, so if you look at my hand, it was Thespian Stage, Dark Depths,
There has to be a target.
up to 1 is 0. Up to 1
and
means
a
0.
Petal, possibly 2, and
Yeah,
the
I
Pithing
mean,
Needle.
if you
So
left 2 mana on
the
the
hand
back, I wouldn't
100% has no disruption, but it has the opportunity for a turn 2 Merit Lage attack on turn 3.
I'm going to sacrifice this one and trigger this one.
And there's no way I'm not going for it because he tapped out.
Am I dead? Did I fuck up? I don't know what card it could be. End the
No.
turn.
I can't think of any card that he could possibly have. So he had the Exhume instead of Reanimate, so he couldn't make the Grizzlebrand.